Hello, my friends. Reverend Penny Honey here with Unity of Flagstaff. Thank you for being with us here on our YouTube channel, youtube.unityofflagstaff.org. Be sure and check out some of our past Sunday morning messages and music. Thank you again for joining us. Remember, Unity of Flagstaff, we share the belief that God is just too big to fit into one religion. All are welcome, always have been, always will be. You have any questions about our ministry? Please go to www.unityofflagstaff.org. Everything you need to know is probably there. If not, there's a contact page there. Please let us know if you have any questions. There's also a donate button, and thank you for being generous. We appreciate your support. If you're not comfortable with online giving, you can always mail in your contribution to P.O. Box 1740 here in Flagstaff, Arizona 86002. So thank you for that. My friends, also remember that we have Thursday Meditation Moment. We'd love to have you join us right here on this same YouTube channel. And now we have the Friday night How You Doing Hootenanny. It is moved to 7 p.m. That Zoom link can be found on our website also. So again, thank you. Know that we continue to hold you in the light. Stay well, be blessed. Namaste, my friends. Enjoy this Sunday morning message and music. And we welcome Jen and Ron Paul. Namaste.
Who said that every wish would be heard? the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
So a young man is called into the personnel office. And obviously the personnel manager is pretty hot under the collar. And he says, "What is the meaning of this?" And the young man says, "I'm not sure what you're referring to." Personnel manager says, "You told us when we hired you for this position that you had 5 years of experience. We found out this week that you have none." And the young man paused for a moment. He said, "Well, in the want ad, you did say you wanted someone with imagination." One more. "I went to the doctor and I said, I keep dreaming that my eyes change color." And the doctor said, don't worry. It's just a pigment of your imagination." Couldn't pass those up. Been a while since I've told a joke. This week we are talking about imagination. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. Ernest Holmes. Wow. The same imagination which scatters and holds the forces of nature in its grasp? The same power, the same faculty resides within me? Whoa, that's pretty cool if you can imagine it. Imagination allows us to follow our heart's knowing rather than what our heads think it knows or what our ears assume they are hearing. The whispers of spirit come through the faculty of imagination, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder in Unity, tells us. Albert Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge. He said, "For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution." Thanks, Al. And what brings you more joy as a grandparent, a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a friend, whoever you might be in this scenario, of watching those little ones as they dream and they create through their imagination the way they want the world to be? The only thing that I can think that brings more joy is being invited into the world of make-believe. I don't know how many tea parties you've sat at a little tiny round table at, surrounded by stuffed animals, sometimes by real animals. But that's a tea party that's worth going to watch the imagination and the power of that imagination. Now that truly is a tea party worth attending. And for that short moment, we remember that there's a lover, a dreamer, an imagineer that resides within us. And all the noise of the universe steps aside in that moment. But we do tend to put imagination in a box for dreamers and for young ones. When we think of the word imagination, these images of visions of success and abundance in our lives and important people don't typically come to mind, at least not this mind. And if that's not true for you, I say yay you. But for most of us, it is true. Imagination is not something that we allow ourselves to experience on a regular basis as adults. It leans into pretending, and pretending moves us away from reality, and heaven forbid we don't have enough reality in our adult life, right? We need some more of that. And even though imagination is given credit for helping to build valuable social skills, supporting cognitive development in children, physical skills in children, and even in adults, it's been proven to relieve stress, to improve relationships. It keeps your mind and your body energized and sharpened. We still kind of disc it. We still kind of, roll our eyes when we hear something like this from our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, who I lovingly like to call Chuck, says imagination is the faculty that enables us to take the whispers of spirit and shape them into dreams and ultimately into action. Imagination is a tool that has made a difference in your life, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. And it could make a difference in the life that you're living right now. Imagination, as Charles Fillmore tells us, gives the human the ability to project themselves through time and space and rise above all limitations, he says. So what do you think of imagination now? In fact, Charles Fillmore was so taken with the faculty of imagination, it is a part of his 7 steps of manifestation. Now, I'm not going to get into that today. We're going to talk about that another day. However, I want you to keep in mind that it is one of the 7 steps. Imagination doesn't create or manifest things. Just because you turn up your imagination doesn't mean things are going to start popping out of the walls or from behind the doors. Well, I guess maybe they could, but at least that hasn't been my experience. But what imagination does do is it produces the mental image of that which you are wanting. It gives you the power to see it. And we know what happens when we start to move into that place of seeing it. The imagination performs that important step of determining the general form of what it is that you're imagining and desiring. And then good stuff can start to happen. Imagination is what turns obstacles into opportunity. With my imagination, I lay hold of perfect ideas and clothe them with substance. With my imagination, I lay hold of perfect ideas and clothe them with substance. Can I get an amen? Carl Jung first introduced the term active imagination, and it's been used through the years in a lot of different ways. But the real students of his work say that active imagination is a process, and it is used to bridge the gap between conscious and unconscious. A bridge. Now consider that for a minute. A bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. How do you think that might impact your life? Perhaps that is the bridge that we've been looking for. Perhaps it will not only empower you to manifest, but it will allow you to identify the things that are preventing you from manifesting. And you can loosen those thoughts, you can release those thoughts from preventing you from creating and bringing into form the very thing, the very person, the very situation that you desire. Perhaps by bridging the gap with active imagination, you will start to move on the thoughts that propel you toward that thing, that expression, and perhaps, just perhaps, in all that creating, the answer that you've been seeking is there. What you are looking for is there. Maybe it's been in that gap between the conscious and the unconscious. The answer to the biggest and perhaps the smallest of questions that you've had. That gnawing, that divine discontent? Perhaps by using the power of the faculty of imagination, we can close that gap. Charles Fillmore believed that our imagination was indeed the divine mind in action, and then taking shape through us. Now that is an amazing power. Now consider that. Imagination is the divine mind thinking. There's power in that. What an amazing power we've been given to express the best human that we can be. What a gift this expression of spirit through us is in the faculty of imagination. Imagination gives the human the ability to project themselves through time and space and rise above all limitations. What a man imagines he can do, we are reminded by Charles Fillmore. Charles Fillmore taught that the whisper of spirit, of inspiration, comes to us through imagination. It's our imagination that grasps that inspiration and it gives it form. It's our imagination that ensures that the whisper doesn't just get lost, that the thought is fleeting. It is imagination that grabs onto that, and then we give it shape and form. Our will and our belief and our focus, that's what makes it manifest. But this is the law of attraction 101. None of it would happen without imagination. None of it. So think of the things. Think of the things that Einstein imagined. Think of the things that, I don't know, Walt Disney thought. Think of the things, the music, the art, the beauty that Mozart dreamt of. What are the things that you're thinking of? What are the dreams that you hold? What is the power that can be unlocked to close that gap with your imagination? Think of the things. I'm inviting us in to taking a moment away from the noise of reports and numbers and opinions and to listen with our depth of soul to the whispers of spirit. You know, the story goes that during the heresy trials of Joan of Arc in 1431, the inquisitor said to Joan of Arc, "You say God speaks to you, but it's only your imagination." And it is said that she responded with, "Well, how else would God speak to me if it wasn't through my imagination?" How else indeed? What other way would Spirit speak to us? What other way that calls to our desires of our best and our highest, but through our imagination? How else would God speak to us? What could we dream? What could we co-create? What could we manifest by closing that gap between the spiritual and the physical consciousness? Imagine that. I invite you this week, 5 minutes, to allow yourself to imagine. Use your faculty of imagination. Let's see what we can co-create. Namaste, my friends.
summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land, and the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. Ooh. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land, and the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land, and the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land, and the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came.
Thank you again, my friends, for joining us here at Unity of Flagstaff. Any questions about the ministry? www.unityofflagstaff.org. You are blessed. You are the light. We continue to see you there. Be well, my friends. Namaste.